Hi, this is Tiffany with Realty of Chicago.
Hi, this is Denise Krohn with Midwest Equity Mortgage.
And this is Ruby Velasquez with MRB Financial.
And we're joining you today because we have seen, at least I have seen, multiple questions, also multiple posts about when you will receive your stimulus check and a bunch of questions. Is it taxable? What should I do with it? When will I get it? Who qualifies? Things like that. So I reached out to Denise, who is the mortgage expert, and we decided to bring on Ruby here.
Yeah, we were, Tiffany and I were going back and forth, and we went back to our goal of wanting to educate this year and wanting to just be advocates of, getting information out there to all our viewers, all of our followers. So we thought, we would bring information. This isn't necessarily mortgage related. This isn't necessarily real estate related, but it's important and pertinent to all of you. Obviously, it's affecting everyone. And so we wanted to talk about the CARES Act and just discuss a little bit about how it could be impacting you and answer some of the questions that we have with our expert. So we have Ruby Velasquez here today. Thank you, Ruby, for joining us. Of course. So Ruby is a financial consultant with MRV Financial. She has a master's degree in accounting and financial management, and she's been in the industry over 20 years. So she's very well versed, and she's been dealing with this, and she's our expert. She's going to answer all of the questions that we have, and definitely be a resource for all of us during this time. So I think maybe we'll just go in and we're just going to ask you some questions and get a little bit of input from you. Tiffany, if you want to start.
Yeah, so one of the questions that I've seen is, when will I get my check if I haven't already received my check?
Yeah, so you should have received it. If you haven't, you should be expecting a letter right now. Everyone should be expecting a letter from the IRS telling you the reason why you got the amount that you got. And if you didn't get one, there should be some rules or some guidance on what to do next with that. So everyone should be on the lookout for their mail at this time. Do look out for scams though. The IRS will not text you. They will not email you. They will not call you. They will only send you a letter. So please be very wary if somebody calls you asking you for any information using this act as part of their scheme.
Very good point, Ruby. Thank you. So a question that I've heard is people are wondering if you are eligible for these benefits, are they going to be taxable?
No, this is your money. This is not part of your earned income at all. So do not expect to pay any taxes on it. Do not expect to pay it back. This is the IRS form of stimulating the economy. That is exactly why the name of the packet is called the Economic Stimulus Act, because they're just looking to pump up the economy. As you guys know, we're taking many hits. So no, do not expect to pay it back. Do not expect to have any other ramifications after this.
Okay, thank you.
Another question I've seen, and I know multiple moms of college students, including myself, wondering, does every child get the $500?
No, I'm so sorry. I have one. And no, we do not. They have to be up to the age of 17. They cannot be claimed as a dependent. So if you are married filing jointly, you could expect the $2,400. If you are a single filer, you could expect the $1,200, and then $500 per each child up to the age of 17. So that knocks our college students right out of the park because we are claiming them as a dependent on our taxes. So that right there disqualifies them from, a lot of 18, 19-year-olds are transitioning into filing their own taxes separately. The fact that they got to click on someone can claim me as a dependent, that disqualifies them on their end as well.
Great, thank you for that. And can you just clarify for the single dependents and the married filing jointly, what the income cap is to
Yeah.
receive the stimulus check, actually?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bring it up because I did have that written down. I did not memorize that. So, so for the caps are for individuals, single filers, 75,000. For head of household, 112,500, and for married filing jointly returns, 150,000 is the cap. You will receive a reduced payment if your AGI is between 75 and 900,000 for the single filers. So for those that did not meet the full amount of 1,200 or the full amount of 2,400, they are saying, but if you make in between 7,500 and 99,000, married filing jointly, there will be some type of adjustment made and sent to you. For the second head of household, it's between 112,500 and 136,500, and then the last bracket of 150,000 to 198,000. So if you make more than these amounts in these brackets, you are not qualified.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. So obviously we've all been watching the stock market and the response that it's had to this terrible virus, and a lot of our portfolios have been affected. I know there's a lot of stockbrokers that are getting calls these days, but people have concerns about having to do the typical, April 15th or, the extended deadline for required tax distributions. So can you speak to whether or not we'll have to, take out those requirements? If you're, obviously at the age where you're required to do so, do you have to do it while the market is down right now?
Not right now. Right now, they are not putting any, they're not penalizing anybody for it. Right now, it's practically free reign from any, I'm not going to say any, but this is one of the government programs that they are looking at and saying, you know what? We are not going to do anything about it if you don't take action. But it only applies to the 2020. It's not going to apply to anything else.
Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
That's really good to know. Another question I see floating around there is, should I withdraw from my 401k if I need cash? And it pertains to everybody, even people looking to buy homes,
Yes, yes. This is a very sensitive time that we're in. And while it is typically, you could talk to any financial advisor, you could talk to any accountant, everyone's going to prime you and give you the same answer. Don't touch it, let it sit, let it simmer. Like that's the right thing to do. But if you are in a situation where you need this because you've been on furlough and you didn't have a savings, they are not going to penalize you either.
Okay.
You will have to pay the taxes on it that is owed, that you have been foregoing all these years. That tax is tax, and no matter what, you're going to have to pay. But as far as if you are in a position of you really do need to dip into it because the crisis calls for it, they will waive that fee, whatever that is.
That penalty.
Yep.
So just to clarify.
So it's a 10%, my apologies, a 10% penalty tax. You will not pay that.
So they're waiving the penalty, but you still will pay tax when you file your 2020 income tax return. Okay.
Yes, so
Perfect.
you might as well put on, so you want to check the box of pay my taxes now so that you have no idea how many tax files we see that they don't pay the taxes now, and then it's a big thing, it's a big deal at the end of the year. Then they're procrastinating to do it because they don't want to pay such a big dollar amount. I say take advantage, pay whatever taxes you are going to have to pay now that you are not paying the 10% tax penalty, so that you don't have to come back to it later.
Okay.
Okay, so You know, I definitely want you to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about MRV Financial and the different services that you offer. One of the concerns, obviously, people have right now with regard to, you know, if they're not getting paid, they're maybe they're receiving unemployment, or maybe there's certain bills that they can't pay for right now. So in your position as a financial consultant, what would you say to someone that is, you know, having trouble paying their student loans, for example? Is that something that they should still continue to pay? Are there going to be implications on the back end as far as your credit is concerned?
No, student loans, I think that's a very good way to look at it, to protect yourself now and later. Um, right now, the student loan agencies, this does not apply to the Perkin loans, and it doesn't apply to the, I'm just looking to make sure that it's the private lenders. It only applies to governmental loans, okay, where they will, I believe they have automatically stopped the payments right now. So no, if you are in a position where, yeah, your financials have been, you know, they're at risk because of what's going on, definitely don't assume that people know your situation. Never assume that people know your situation. Get on the phone and call the lenders that you think are the very least important to pay at this time. Don't do it for the sake of I have a break, because everyone's not going to not pay some type of interest on other bills that are not the government. So not paying your mortgage because you have a break may not be acceptable. You know, not paying your credit card bill may not be acceptable. Not paying any bill, if you think about it, it's one of those money morals, as we call them. If you are not paying your bill, somebody else is paying it on your behalf. That's just the money moral number one that everyone should really always think. You know, right now I am in this tough situation. People are giving me breaks. Look at your, so to answer your question of who should I pay first, I will look at all your priorities first. Food is a priority. You're gonna need to feed everybody's home. You don't have the school lunches that you paid for at home. I think it's a matter of readjusting your budget. So since you mentioned MRB Financial, one of the things that we do is we do credit repair, we do counseling. That's one of the services that we offer. We do business services as well. We do bookkeeping, and then we do taxes. At the end of the year as well, we do personal and business taxes. So those are the main three services that we really focus on. So when it comes down to budgeting, this is everybody budgets in this world. Businesses do, individuals do, kids do. When they want to go to the store, they're budgeting in their mind how to get mom to say yes. They don't understand the monetary value, but they understand mom's value. What makes her tick? What makes her say yes, and what makes her say no, right? So everybody has this gauge in their brain. So I think that right now we're in a position of having to really look at your financial house, looking at your budget and saying, what is a luxury that I could totally pause right now that no one's going to pay for me? Spotify, for instance, that's a luxury, right? A lot of us have been not being able to use some of those luxuries, like get your hair done, stuff like that, right? Well, that's an automatically money that you could grab and move it over to another place. So then you're going to identify, well, I need food, I need, you know, roof over my head to make sure that I pay my rent, make sure that I pay my mortgage, because for the rental, one of the misconceptions that there are right now is that landlords have money and that landlords should be okay with not charging their tenants rent. That is not everybody's case, unfortunately. Many landlords are barely getting by. They're renting their house for many different reasons. A lot of their loans are not in this bucket of loans where they are getting freebies at this time. So don't assume that your landlord has money simply because they have a tenant. So that's one of the things that I would say, my rent needs to be paid. my mortgage has to be paid. You know, those are necessities that you have. If you get kicked out of your home, well, everybody's security is affected by that. Then comes, you know, the next in line. What is the next priority? You know, for us, it depends on everybody's priority. There's people that still want to have good credit during this time. One trick that you can do is pay your minimum amount during this time. Yeah, you're going to pay higher interest, but guess what? Your credit will still be stellar. So always look at ways to stay on top of your bills rather than not paying them. So that's how I would go about identifying which ones can go at last, and then have that list and call every single vendor right away and say, hey, I may not be able to do this month. What can we do? They're going to have, everyone's ready to have an arrangement with you. All the vendors, all the business owners, everybody's looking to thrive and come out of this winning. It's a matter of everybody communicating with each other and saying, hey, this is my current situation. I need help. People are there. They just need to hear it.
Right.
I agree. You know, I want to do a quick plug as well, because Tiffany and I are working on a different video for people who have questions about forbearance and deferments and just, you know, all about that. And I just want to say, you know, if you are in a position where you absolutely have no means and you just cannot make, you know, especially your mortgage payment, then by all means, you should utilize those services. You should make sure that, you know, you have to do what you have to do. But know that there might be implications on the back end. There might be, you know, you may not be eligible for a refinance on the line. They may have you pay it all back at once. So you have to make sure, like Ruby's saying, you know, explore your options. Make sure that you understand what your options are. Make sure that you have a plan, because the easy way out usually comes at a cost. So, you know, you want to be mindful of that.
Yes.
And, you know, and speaking with that, Denise, and maybe you can speak to this, and then Ruby a little bit, you know, a lot of people are asking, you know, what is the difference between being laid off and being furloughed? Because there is a difference, and there's some confusion, and also how it'll affect you, you know, if you want to buy a home.
Yeah. So the difference between the two is that being laid off is just basically saying, due to the economy right now, I don't think I'm going to make it out of this. I'm just going to dissolve my company right now before I lose any more. So I'm going to have to cut my staff. I'm cutting my losses. So it's not that the employee did anything bad. There was no wrongdoing on the employee. So everyone walk around with your head up because you did absolutely nothing wrong. I think that's, you know, people get, it hits your ego in a certain way, right? So no, it wasn't your fault. It was the economy's fault. It was the business just saw themselves not being able to thrive, you know, and that was a big decision for those businesses to come to. It took a lot of people to say, wow, like that's where we are, and it's realistically what we need to do. So that means you're losing your job due to an economic impact within the business model. Has nothing to do with you. You should be able to, you know, find another job. It should not affect you negatively. So you should be able to go and look for a job. You know, right now there's a lot of time as far as the job market. Well, you know, we know where we are right now. So it's a matter of who's out there, who's networking, who's doing what they need to do to get their foot in the door, right? Being on furlough means that your pay and your job is currently on hold until further notice. Financially, we just can't do it right now, but you will have a job once all this is over. So all of those folks should be living off of their savings that hopefully they planned for. You know, I don't know if many businesses are in a position to be giving any kind of packages, incentive packages, or like there's a name for it, kind of like, I'm sorry that you have to do this, so I'm going to give you a quick break, and I'm going to like I forget what the name of it is, but they'll give you like a little bit like cushion of cash to say, like, just while you guys get into the unemployment office, here's a month's worth of pay. So I don't know if many companies are doing that, but I know that, it is common for companies to do that in a situation like that. Can they afford it at this time? I think it's going to be a case by case basis. So that's just someone that their jobs are being placed on hold temporarily, and they'll be back to business once everything, is back up.
And let me just add, for those people that are in a position, if you're in furlough or you've been laid off and you had home ownership as something that you had a goal for yourself for this year or for next year, definitely don't think that you're going to be disqualified because of this, and that you won't qualify for a loan because you were laid off or furloughed, because lenders are going to understand that. Guidelines are going to change to accommodate that once we come out of this crisis. So don't let that influence you negatively in any way. You should still continue to achieve or strive for the dreams that you have, and we're the team that's going to help you do that.
Yeah, thank you.
So I think that wraps up our discussion of CARES. Thank you so much, Ruby, for just being just so informative. It's definitely been helpful for us. Is there anything else you want to talk about with regard to your company? I know you offer so many different services, and we would love to refer anyone that needs help.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. Yeah, like I said, you could visit our website, mrbfinancial.com. You could see the services that we offer. We have a few things going on. We have a raffle that's ending for any referrals, any activity on our social medias. We are on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, probably wherever you are, we are there too. So if you come socialize on our business page, you automatically get entered into our raffle. There's 3 raffles going on right now. One is a $200 liquor package. It's a party pack. I know, I think everybody.
We're all drinking these days.
Yes, it's right now it's gold. It's an essential, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have that, and then there's 2 other prices below that I think are like $100 prices, and then so we have that going on, and then we are also giving back to anyone that has been affected financially. They have lost their jobs. They need help. We are offering we have the flyer on our MRB financial walls. You can look at the information on who it applies to, but we are doing a $45 flat fee for those that have been affected. Any nurses, any doctors, that is our way of giving back, because if we're not giving back, then we're not helping each other out, then what are we doing, right?
Sure.
So those are the highlights that we have going on right now. If you guys have any questions specifically, for budgeting, for business, we do help businesses out. Taxes, give us a call. We're here to help.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, thank you for being with us today, Ruby. We appreciate it. We wanted to bring in an expert because obviously we did not want to tackle those questions on our own.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much that you guys thought about me. There's so many people in this world, but you guys thought about me. So I'm very humbled by that. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to be wrapping up here. I just want to remind everyone to, if you have any questions, please, message us. We will have all of our Facebook pages listed with the video. Please also share this information. It costs nothing to hit the share button. You never know who has these questions in the back of their mind, but they're afraid to ask someone, or they just, are going off of what they're reading on the internet, which is not always, deemed to be true. So I ask that you share it, or you tag your friends, share privately if you need to. If you don't want to share publicly, that's fine. But just do what you can to get the information out there, because that's what we're trying to do. We really want to be educators this year. We want to share everything, all the knowledge that we have with you all, so that you are empowered and are able to survive these times and come out of it, strong.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We hope that, you will reach out if anyone is in need, if anyone, just has general questions, you're in a really bad position, you don't know who to talk to. We may not be the experts in that field, but we know a lot of people we would be more than happy to help navigate you through that process. So please reach out if you have any questions. If there's anything that we can do to personally help you, we would gladly do so. Share, like all of our pages, and we'll see you guys next time.
Right. Bye.
Bye.